Shalom, dear Chavarim. Welcome back to our series, our Heartbeat of the Torah series, called Our Identity, Lost and Found. My name is Devorah Kalik, and I'm with Bless Israel Network. And we are today concluding the series in part 6. Let's review. In part 1 of this series, we started by answering 3 questions. Who are we? And where or with whom do we belong? And who are we following? In part 2, we began, we also talked about how important it is to take off our Greco-Roman glasses and to put on Jewish ones, because everything in the scriptures is really written from a Jewish perspective, a Jewish historical perspective, and we need to really have on Jewish lenses. In part 2, we answered the question, what is our faith and practice? And then we were wondering what Rabbi Shaul meant when in Romans 11, he mentioned this concept and did a midrash on something called roots and branches. In part 3, we also finished answering what are roots and branches, and we began sharing about Abraham's early life, going a little bit through the Sefer HaYashar, or the Book of Jasher. In part 4, we started to answer the question, what is a Jewish soul? And we also explained that the terms born again, a circumcised heart, and a Jewish soul are really the same thing. They're just different ways of expressing the concept. In part 5, we continue discussing more about the Jewish soul by answering the question, where do the non-Jewish nations or the Gentiles fit into all of this? If you have not watched parts 1 through 5, I really recommend you turn off this video and go to those. You can either go to our website, which is blessisraelnetwork.com, and click on the YouTube icon. And then once you get there, you can go to the playlists, and then all the Heartbeat of the Torah series will be listed, or all the Heartbeat of the Torahs will be listed under one playlist. Okay, so like I said, turn this off, go there, watch parts 1 through 5, and then you'll better understand this last concluding lesson. Today, we're going to answer 3 questions again. What is our purpose is the first question. The second question is, once we know what our purpose is, how do we fulfill it? And the third question is, how do we know that we are fulfilling our purpose? In other words, what tool do we use to measure our progress or success? Okay, so now we're on the first question. What is our purpose? After we have been transformed, we are to continue our transformation. We talked a lot about this in part 5. We will be constantly changing, constantly having to overcome our nefesh be'amah, or our animal soul, which in English is called the flesh. Simultaneously, as we obey the commandments, we are continuing our process of transformation, and we are to be helping others to transform. This is called building the kingdom of God. Secondly, we are to become Kehilat Yaakov, the congregation or community of Yaakov. The Rambam, Maimonides, one of the great sages of the Middle Ages, said that the Torah is the heritage not merely of those born of Jewish parents, but it is also shared by every soul that joins the Jewish nation and accepts the Torah. Edat Israel is the same idea. The root of Edat is the word Ayin Dalet, which means witness or testimony. We become one in Edat Israel, unified because of our common our common testimony about the Jewish Messiah, Yeshua. Thirdly, how do we become a member of Kehilat Yaakov? We become a Talmid, a student, a disciple of our rabbi, our master, and we sit and learn at his feet. The way we sit and learn at his feet is to learn from Jewish teachers, to submit ourselves to Jewish people who are themselves a student, a Talmid of the Messiah, of the Master Yeshua, and because they are able to guide us from the scriptures. It is also okay if we learn from teachers who have been taught by Jewish teachers and who are repeating what they have taught. These teachers should themselves be living what they teach. Now, I'm not talking about perfection here. I'm just talking about they are living a repentant lifestyle and they themselves are still learning and doing what they themselves teach, meaning they're producing fruit that stands, fruit that lasts, demonstrating they're in obedience to the words of Messiah, which are his interpretation of the Torah of Moses. As a side note, it's very important that you are following or learning from teachers who are not building their own kingdom. What do I mean by that? I mean they're not focused on themselves. You want to watch out for those who are encouraging unity and community with one another and with Klal Israel, all of Israel. Watch out for those who are more concerned about their own ministries, more than they are about learning about what is the authentic gospel, the Besorah that Yeshua taught. And this is very important, they should be concerned about the salvation of all Israel. Watch their fruit. Yeshua said that we will know them by their fruit. Fourthly, after one is fully trained, he or she should be able to produce other Talmidim, other disciples for the master by sharing what they have learned and by investing their lives and their time into those people. This can be done through personal one-on-one relationships, or also by joining larger ministries which are focused on these principles. However, it is very important, if it's a larger ministry, that there is someone who you are accountable to, who is helping you, who's counseling you, who's guiding and directing you. Fifthly, I'm going to be frank. If you are not Jewish yourself, it's not very likely that a Jew will listen to you. There are, of course, always exceptions, but you will likely have to steer them toward Jewish believers who speak Jewish. However, if you yourself learn Jewish thought, learn how to practice the Torah, learn some halakha, or the way we are to obey the commandments, the way to walk, where to walk them out. Learn how to speak in a language and in a context that Jews understand. And you are able to present Yeshua within a Jewish context. God may certainly be able to use you to speak to other Jews. We non-Jews, we Gentiles by birth, must come into the fullness of understanding of what it means to be a non-Jewish disciple in Messiah, following in the footsteps of Abraham. This takes great humility, and that we would submit ourselves to Jews who know more than we do, and or people who have been taught by Jews, who themselves have been appointed by those Jews to go out and teach other people, then and only then will we have an opportunity to provoke the Jewish people to zealousness for their God and the Messiah and their Torah. The last point, number 6, is really, again, more toward the non-Jewish members of the body of Messiah, because that is who most of our audience is, the audience of Bless Israel Network. We must remember, my friends, that we owe a huge debt to our Jewish brethren, that means Jewish men and women, for what they have given us. This is in Romans 15, chapter 15, verse 27. Rabbi Shaul, or Paul, warned that we must not boast against the branches, the natural branches, meaning the Jewish people. We must always recall that the majority of Jews were blinded so that the Gentiles could enter into the covenants. We are not second-class citizens. I don't want to allude to that or insinuate that at all. That is not true. We are equal inheritors, equal shareholders, but we must remember that we've been granted a great gift because of and through the Jewish people. They are blind, perhaps, but without them, we are cut off and have no hope at all. And in fact, in 1 Corinthians 13, it talks about us being blind in a way that is talking about we see through a glass, a mirror, darkly. We don't have all the truth. We need the Jewish people. I love what my friend and mentor, when we first began, Pastor Mark Bilt, says. He says, well, the Jews are blind in one eye. They don't understand that Yeshua is the Messiah, but the Gentiles are blind in the other. They don't understand about the Torah and halakha and all the things that we've been trying to teach you ourselves, things that I've learned from Rabbi Yitzhak Shapira and Rabbi Stephen Bernstein and Rabbi Yechezkel Atalki. We are blind too, and without them, without Avraham, without what he did, which led to the birth of the Jewish Messiah, we are cut off from God and have absolutely no hope at all. This is what I mean by humility. Okay, the second question today is, how do we fulfill or accomplish our purpose? The first thing we need to do is get connected and support trustworthy Jewish roots educational ministries. In my opinion, one of the best ones out there, maybe the best, is Ahavat Ami Ministries with Rabbi Yitzhak Shapira. You can go to www.ahavatami.org, and it'll be on, I know it'll be on the screen for you to see how that's spelled. Rabbi Shapira gives great teachings for free. Pearls of the Torah is a good discussion on the Torah portions. You will learn a ton. Tamir Kreisman has recently taken over doing the Pearls of the Torah, and he's also an excellent teacher. He also, or Ahavat Ami, also has a free application which can be downloaded to your phone called Ahavat Ami. Just go to your app store and put in Ahavat Ami, Ahavat, and then second word AMMI. Second, to getting connected, if you want to see how to learn, study, build community, I ask you to consider Yeshivat Shuvu. You can go to www.shuvu.tv, SHUVU.tv, in order to get information. Third, First Fruits of Zion offers great Torah teaching materials for the beginner. you can go to www.ffoz.org. It's not going to be the depth and the full, what we call the full pardes that you'll get with Ahavat Ami, but it can be a good place to start. Fourth, there's us, Bless Israel Network. You can go to www.blessisraelnetwork.com. We have a lot of good videos, teaching material on the Torah portion. My husband Daniel does some interesting things on current events and just looking at things more from a Jewish perspective. He has a program called My View as a Jew, and also Eye on Israel. So, okay, how do we prioritize what Yeshua has asked us to do? Number one, we need to become a disciple like Yeshua. We need to learn because we don't know everything. Secondly, we need to practice and apply what we learn. Third, we need to go out and make disciples. You can't make disciples unless you are a disciple yourself. Talmid, or Talmidah in the feminine, comes from the word lamed, to learn. A disciple, a student, is always someone who is learning. And that goes for a more too, a teacher. A more is a student, a talmid who is always learning. Okay. Fourth, practice to the Jew first. This means getting connected with your brethren in Israel. That's what these ministries that I've mentioned are all about, including us. And you will learn more about us when you go to our website. 5, promote unity. Don't focus on anything but the main thing. Stay away from the type of teachings that we mentioned earlier on in other parts. And last, how do we know if we are fulfilling our purpose? How can we measure our progress and know if we are doing the right stuff? This is an excellent question. I will use Yeshua's words. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. Just as no branch can bear fruit by itself unless it remains in the vine, neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, and you are the branches. The one who remains in me and I in him will bear much fruit, for apart from me, you can do nothing. That's John 15, verses 4 and 5. No one can argue with fruit. If you're doing the right stuff, if you're practicing the right Torah, people will be attracted to you and want to spend time with you. They will want to hang out with you. They will ask questions because they will love being with you, and they will want to know what you know, and they will want to have what you have. If you are practicing Torah and people run away from you, you're doing the wrong kind of Torah. The right Torah, clothed in humility, respect for others, patience, and love, will attract other people. If you are successfully building relationships and those relationships are turning into disciples for Yeshua, you are producing good fruit. Yeshua said it this way, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you, that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should last or stand, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give it to you. These things I command you, so that you will love one another." That's John 15, verses 16 and 17. That's the measuring rod, fruit that will last. Well, Havarim, that's it for today. This concludes our special series on our identity. Thank you so much for joining me in this very important topic. Understanding our identity helps us to focus and to stay on mission. And I really encourage you to share this with others. I truly believe teachings like this promote the unity and the love that Yeshua prayed for, and will serve to advance the kingdom, enabling our Messiah to return soon to the earth. Would you please partner with us and help us to continue providing these teachings? Your donations also allow us to produce our main program, Revelation to the Nations, where we are bringing you firsthand information about the growing kingdom of God here in Israel. Please go to www.blessisraelnetwork.com. Click on the donate tab and you are able to give a tax-deductible donation to us through our association with another organization called Artists in Christian Testimony International, ACT International. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you'll be notified when we produce new programming. Until next time, dear Havarim, Litraot and Kol Tuv.